Hello everyone. Today I have the Armaf Discovery set for review. This has 12 different fragrances from the Odyssey line, and I will be going through most of them, at least the ones I like. Keep in mind, I already kind of looked at the box. I did a sample, let the dry down happen, and kind of formulated my opinion on this, but I just kept the box for the sake of showing you guys. So from top to bottom, these are my favorites, and let's get into it. The first one is the Armaf Odyssey Spectra, which is the Rainbow Edition. This was supposed to be a dupe of Ultramile from JPG, and you can see the atomizer isn't great, but the juice is good on this. It smells like the Ultramile. It has the lavender sweetness. It's bubblegummy. It's quite actually nice. I would recommend getting this one. So this one for me was a yes. I would suggest, or I would recommend it if you're looking for an alternative to Ultramall. The second one is the Mandrin Sky from, as well from the Odyssey lineup, and this is a inspiration from Candee from JPG as well. This one actually has a nice atomizer. You get a hint of the a big hit of the Mandrin orange, and it comes off sweet with a vanilla caramel kind of note. I would say it's pretty close as well. I actually like this one a lot, so I did end up getting a full bottle, which has seen some use. It is a little sweet, but the original is as well, so if you like that type of scent, I would recommend this one as well. The next one we have is the Odyssey Homme, the white edition. This is an inspiration from Stronger With You from Imperial Armani. And I would say this is pretty close as well. It has the woody, vanilla, amber. It's sweet. It's actually, I would say, pretty close to the original. It's not, like the intensely or Femme strong level. You don't get the praline, the chestnut, and so on. But it is quite nice. It's simple, sweet. It does remind me of the original, so in that regard, it's pretty good. Keep in mind, I tested these initially, and they last about 8 hours or so on skin, which is great. And that's mainly due to the vanilla and heavy base on these fragrances. The next one is Odyssey Homme Black Edition, and this is an inspiration from Tom Ford's Noir Extreme. And I would say this is also very similar, or I would recommend it. It's a nice, pleasant scent. It comes off woody, spicy, has some powdery feel. If you've smelled the original Noir Extreme, you know it's a subtle, kind of elegant fragrance. It's not really screaming in your face. So overall, this one is also a good recommendation. So from the set of 12, I recommended the Homme White and Black Edition, and Spectra, Rainbow, and Mandrin Sky. The other ones I'm not quite fond of, and let me explain why. This next one is the Odyssey Oud. This is basically Oud for Greatness inspiration, so it has the saffron, nutmeg, and Oud combo. The opening for this is quite woody. I don't think it's for everybody, but the dry down was really nice. I actually kept smelling my arm back and forth a few hours later. So the opening is harsh. It's very woody. It comes off synthetic, but it is definitely worth it if you're willing to wait. However, there's a lot of alternatives to Oud for Greatness, so I would skip on this if you're looking for something a little higher quality. The next one is Aqua, which is Invictus Platinum, I believe. And this one came, as you can see, with the atomizer ruin and the bottles leaking. So Armaf does have quality issues, which I will be discussing in another video because I've bought a lot of their fragrances and there's always a broken bottle, atomizer, or something going wrong. So this was actually a nice scent. I just don't like the original Invictus as much. It comes off a little green, aquatic. So if you like that fresh kind of aquatic and green scent, I would say this is an okay purchase. But for me personally, I will pass on this. And then last, well, I'm gonna skip over and just kind of do a big bunch in a format. Uh, we have Mega Man, which is YEDP, and then we have Tyrant, Wild One, and Limoni. Limoni, I believe, is their own original creation. Some people say it's kind of similar to Louis Vuitton fragrances with the citruses, but I personally would not recommend these four at all. I don't even want to spray them. They come off very synthetic, very harsh, almost like lemon cleaner products. And I noticed that in all their citrusy fragrances. And I had a similar issue with the Club de Nuit Intense. I've reviewed this before and I've said it smells like a cleaning product. So, do I like this one? Yes, the dry down is really nice. It gets close to the Aventus. But with these ones, I think there's better alternatives to, Dior Sauvage and YEDP and so on. So, I would skip on Tyrant, Wild One, Mega, and Limoni. And as a bonus, the Discovery set comes in with two fragrances for women. The first one is Odyssey Femme White Edition. And this one is just a hit of white florals. There's some orange blossom in there. I believe there's orange in the top note, some jasmine, and it's a nice clean scent for women. I think this is a classic. You can't go wrong with the white florals. Because they don't have the lemon and the citruses that I was mentioning earlier, it actually just comes off nice and it's not overly synthetic and harsh. And then the last one, which is another fragrance for women, is called Candee. And Candee is basically some florals, some fruits, red fruits, and almost like berries. So it is very sweet. And this one does smell synthetic. You could tell it's almost like a cherry flavoring. If you know, um, looked at sodas, for example, it smells like cherry soda in a way. So this is a little medicinal to me, almost like a Dr. Pepper weird. So I wouldn't recommend this for the ladies out there, but I would recommend Femme as an option. So overall, out of the Discovery set of 12, I thoroughly enjoyed Mandrin Sky and Spectra Rainbow. These are, I think, you know, perfect for what they are. They smell great. And then these are also a good quality in comparison to the others. So hopefully you enjoyed the review. Let me know what you think. And maybe I just got a bad batch, but I think with Armaf, my experience hasn't usually been the best. So I will make another video discussing that.